Shabbat Shalom. It's no secret that I'm a huge admirer of Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, our rabbi, the greatest prophet in our tradition. In this week's double parasha, Matot Ma'asei, there's an interesting scene whereby, as the Israelites are in their 40th year and getting ready to come into the land of Israel, a few of the tribes, the Reubenites and the Gadites and some of the tribe of Manasseh, they're currently all on the other side of the Jordan. Today, what would be considered northern Jordan and southern Syria, and they like the land. They think it's good pasture land for their cattle and their sheep. So they go to Moses as a group and say, can we stay here on this opposite side of the Jordan? We don't necessarily want a physical share in Canaan, which will be the land of Israel. And Moses is aghast. They've been wandering for 40 years together as a coherent unit. And now they're going to try to conquer the promised land, and you have a handful of tribes that are trying to beg off and shirk their responsibility. And he says, how can you do this? How can you allow your brethren to go into the land and conquer it and take it as our possession, as our holding, as God's promise, while you stay here safely on the other side of the Jordan? And they say, no, no, no. This is what we'll do. We'll act as chalutzim, shock troops, the vanguard. We will go with you into battle. We'll leave our family behind, our wives and children. We will go into battle with you to help conquer Canaan for our people, but we won't take a share. Once the land is settled, we'll come back here and we'll build sheepfolds for all our sheep, for all our flocks, and homes for our children, for our families. So Moses listens. He hears this and he says, okay, if you're willing to do that as a compromise, you come with us first as the shock troops, you're willing to engage in battle, and then you return to this land and build homes for your wives and children and sheepfold for your flocks. Then, of course, we've reached an agreement. We can do this and you can settle here on the opposite side of the Jordan. What's interesting about that is, first off, Moses is willing to listen. Right? He's willing to hear differences of opinion. He's willing to compromise and he's willing to cooperate. And that is what makes a good leader. And they come up with a solution. He also realizes that the reason that some of these tribes, the Reubenites and the Gadites, want this particular land is because it's good pasture land. But they're putting economics, they're putting finances before family. And he says to them, don't make it just about the land for grazing for your sheep. Make it about your family. He reverses the order. He says, build homes for your family first, then the sheepfolds for your flocks. And of course, the people pick up on this and they realize that and they correct the order, because finances are important, but family should always come first. People before profits. And finally, because he's willing to listen and hear to their needs, he's able to keep the people together, all the tribes, all 12 tribes, even those that will settle on the opposite side of the Jordan, not be a physical part of what we know as the land of Israel. It will be the first diaspora community by choice, and I think it's very telling because now we have Jews throughout the world, and that's a good thing. There are people that choose to live in Israel. There are people that choose not to live in Israel, and we could support Israel wherever we live. But Moses set the stage because he was a consensus builder. And that is what true leadership is all about. In difficult times, in challenging times, and where there's differences of opinion, trying your best to listen and trying to find ways to cooperate and keeping people together. Compromise occasionally and building coalitions whenever and wherever you can. We can be Jews anywhere. We could also have differences of opinions. And if we're willing to listen, we could always find solutions. I'm Rabbi Michael Stenger, and that's my Friday morning Vort. Shabbat Shalom. Stay safe, stay healthy.